Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming in for Fit Anywhere. Today we're going to talk about energy. And I love this topic because I think it's the most universal topic, right? Which is that, many of us, we don't have much energy. Okay, or at least we are always fluctuating like this lamp here, uh, low energy, then all right, got enough energy, and then low energy again. Okay, and what are the factors for this and what can we do about it? That's the key of today's sharing. Of course, it's about rest. Okay, for good energy, rest is crucial, right? And then actually general health is important. I mean, if your general health is terrible, then you know you're not going to have much energy. But beyond that, there are actually items like your mental and your emotional state as well. Okay, so some of us, we've done this training and we talk about being in peak state, right? How do we get in peak state? And the interesting thing about that was that the while the teaching was on mindset training and personal development, yet a large part of it was about physiology, right? And that's what we're going to be chatting about today. Finally, of course, we think that nutrition plays a big part in energy. Okay, so if you are no energy like this, how many people have experienced low energy days when you feel like this battery, red line, right? Need a recharge, no energy. I gotta tell you, I get this quite often as well, right? And so what happens with the low energy? Okay, of course, sleep is critical when you have low energy, right? When you are on low energy, sleep and rest is important. But we sometimes think about eating and maybe taking an energy drink, right? These are alternatives, correct? All right. And then, of course, there's this best one, which is the most. Do you know that coffee and caffeine products are the biggest used drug in the world, okay? And through history, everybody uses coffee and tea and other caffeine laced drinks for energy. But what about getting to the source of energy, right? If you are tired and if you feel that, wow, I wonder why I don't have energy, the best thing is to get to the source of energy. Okay, please type in the chat group, yeah, maybe a thumbs up, yeah, what is this source of energy? Because it's easy to talk about source of energy, but we always think that the source of energy may be my fitness, maybe my health. But no, the source of energy is something we call the mitochondria. Okay, the mitochondria. And what does it do? Well, let me explain to you. 1 minute of science. Okay, whether you eat carbohydrates or protein or fats, all of this somehow will be converted into an energy unit in the body, which is called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Okay, now in the mitochondria, this ATP then is connected to oxygen, and that gives us the energy. Okay, so at the end of the day, we may think about rest, we may think about a whole lot of things, but the critical element really is our energy source. These little mitochondria, which are found in every cell of your body, okay, these mitochondria give energy to the cell. So therefore, if you want to have more energy and you are willing to get to the source of energy, it's the quality and quantity of your mitochondria. This makes all the difference. Okay, that's 1 minute of science. Now, we're going to talk about things that are still scientific, but that energy is done, right? So when we want to go into high energy mode, what might we do? Sleep and sleep and taking a break is important, okay? But eating and energy drinks not so important. Why? Because we do generally take a lot of food, right? We have obesity issues as a people now. Obesity is on the rise, so that means that we actually do have a lot of energy stored in the body. It's just whether it can be accessed, right? So one of the things that is important for us is maybe exercise, okay? And then, of course, coffee and pick me ups. Mm, remember that they are drugs. Okay. So if you're the type who, can't wait to have a coffee in the morning, cannot get started until I have my coffee in the morning. If you're that sort, please feel free to put that in the chat group. Yeah, 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 I'm that sort. Huh? Well, let's maybe we should rely less on the drugs, and maybe we should improve the mitochondria. Okay, so that's where we have a product called R Square, and it stands for Restore and Recharge. So I will be talking about this short a bit more. Okay, Chris, did you want to say anything?
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff, for such uh, a a really fantastic introduction. And actually, like, I think for me, I'm 33 now, and honestly, like, um, uh, I I just wanted to mention that I used to rely on those things like energy drinks or coffee, and it's so normal, right? Like even in your 20s when we study or when we start work, to rely on such things. And I used to think there was nothing wrong, but I found something strange, right? Like not only were the effects temporary, but I started having like um having to rely on them increasingly more and more, and not only
Mm,
that, like after I would take my coffee or energy drink, what happens is would feel like those, high energy drinks are high in sugar, or I'll eat sugary stuff to get that high or stay awake. But once the effect wore off, I will actually feel more tired than before. Yeah, so yeah, I think that is what started me um um that increasing dependence and that increasing fatigue after relying on those temporary measures, was something that I didn't like, and I started looking for something more sustainable to target the source.
mm,
Yeah, so I think that's um, one thing that we can look at is moving from a temporary, unhealthy, unnatural um, approach to a more natural, healthy, and sustainable one.
yep, totally. Thanks, Chris. That's absolutely true. So, the thing is that we're going to be talking about R Square, right? Now, just before I tell you, R Square is by a company called New Skin. And just in case you think that, oh, okay, it's just another supplement, I want to tell you that New Skin has an amazing pedigree. All right. It has actually not only sponsored the Olympic Games, it is actually a sport, it is the only, is the only sponsor of the American team, the only supplement sponsor for the American team. So you can imagine that it is of the highest quality. Okay, so just before we, so that said, want to tell you about R Square and how it is. Well, you can see here it's totally natural, it's cutting edge science. But I'd like to let you watch this little video clip. This is from Discovery Channel, and it is where they were developing R Square in 2012.
Scientific experiments at academic and commercial labs show that our genes do not control our fate.
Our research is beginning to reveal the reality that the aging process is a symphony that is being played in the body. And in order to play that symphony extremely well, You need an orchestra of genes being somewhat cooperating with each other to make sure that the aging symphony doesn't get out of tune.
Meet Dr. Joseph Chang. As a chief scientist of a privately funded lab, he's dedicated his life to nutritional intervention for the war on aging. He becomes interested in youth gene clusters related to mitochondria, tiny structures in our cells. These are miniature motors that fuel our bodies, maintaining our energy levels from cradle to grave.
Yeah, the mitochondria, like the battery, does drain over time. If we don't recharge the mitochondria battery, we won't have the energy needed to run the cell. And if the mitochondria doesn't function optimally, then these early signs of aging begin to appear.
On the other side of the world, partnering with Dr. Chang at a sister lab, is Dr. Josh Zhu. He's using his knowledge of the natural world to battle aging with the most unusual of ingredients. The scientist believes that he is getting close to discovering the key to resetting mitochondrial gene expression with the help of a fungus called Cordyceps sinensis.
Cordyceps sinensis is a fungal product, a natural product. It's just similar to any kind of a mushroom.
But this is no ordinary fungus. His studies have found that after taking Cordyceps sinensis, their exercise performance capability improved.
Cordyceps sinensis shortened recovery period and improved cardiovascular function.
Cordyceps sinensis drastically heightens endurance and energy metabolism and fights fatigue. The results indicate that Cordyceps sinensis could potentially counteract the strains of daily life that lead to aging.
We can see a Cordyceps sinensis not really just extend the lifespan, but healthy lifespan. We proved Cordyceps sinensis is really anti-aging herb.
Dr. Zhu's Cordyceps sinensis research is added to other blended ingredients to create Dr. Chang's anti-aging compound.
This is the first time ever where some of these natural ingredients, by using modern scientific methods, to demonstrate that it can actually extend lifespan.
Okay, well, that was amazing. I liked what Dr. Zhu said, which was that, Cordyceps sinensis extends the quality of life. So it's not just you get more life, but you have better quality of it because more energy, more vitality, right? All right, so what are the primary benefits of this product? Okay, first is that it raises and sustains baseline energy levels, okay? And of course, it supports the body's ability to neutralize and remove cellular waste and toxic byproducts. I'll tell you a bit more as we drill down on what the product is, okay? And of course, because of the energy, because you have every cell has more energy because it's got more of these little batteries, right? And the batteries are working better, okay? It protects and fortifies the cells against damage from external toxins. What are some of these external toxins? These could include things like your carcinogens, all the pollutants, things that make you fall sick, things that make your body go crazy, right? All right. And of course, it helps restore normal cellular function. Show you that in a while. So this Cordyceps sinensis has been used to create R square. Now we have 2 bottles of R square. This first one you see here is called R square day, right? And the R square day, what it does is that it addresses the source of energy, which is the mitochondria health and the number of mitochondria. Okay, it is totally natural because you can see that the combination includes cordyceps, which you've heard about, but also ginseng and pomegranate. Okay, and then it is nonetheless, it is totally scientific, and it's based on a pharmaceutical grade quality. All right, we call it 6S quality, which has to do with like how they source the raw materials, how they specify the quality of the raw materials, how they standardize the quality, and how they substantiate the whole process, which you saw in the Discovery Channel video, right, showing the laboratories where it was created. So of course, this is very health promoting, vitality promoting, and youth promoting. Okay, and then we have R square night. R square night is another formula, and what it does is that the R square night is, well, it's the match to the increased energy that the R square day provides. Okay, you know, if you think of it as these mitochondria as little generators, what happens when you generate a lot of stuff and your car is going out and generating power? Okay, of course you have exhaust, you have fumes, right? You have waste products that are being produced. All these need to be removed. Now, the car system, as you know, does have an exhaust system. Okay, nonetheless, you know, after a while, some of these the carbon still gets deposited, things wear out. So clearing up all this is very important. So similarly with our body, right? So we have R square night, and what it does is that it improves the detox at night. Okay. Now, what with this, one of the benefits that you get is actually you get better sleep, but it also puts you in a better condition for the next day when you take your R square day and then you need the energy again. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Now, is it scientific? Well, you saw from Discovery Channel. No, Discovery Channel is a scientific broadcaster, right? They talk about science, they talk about things that are uh, proven, things that are scientific, and you know that you can rely on them. Well, the other thing is that in New Skin, when they created this product, of course, they would test it, right? So we tested it on treadmill test with mice. So we have two groups of mice. One is with a placebo, one is with R square, and then they're tested. And after 5 weeks, that's a magic number. Okay, 5 weeks, they found that the control group actually had a slight decrease in exercise time, but the R square group had a 63% increase. So, you know, this is irrefutable scientific data of the efficacy of this product. Okay, so we're not giving you some marketing claptrap. Okay, it is scientifically proven. And we can't do it with humans, but for humans, we can have them go on consumer studies. Okay, so actually, I have one consumer who just started on this not too long ago. I think maybe about a week ago, and I'd love to have him share a little bit. So, are you there, Wilson?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so
Can everybody
Wilson,
hear me?
would you share about what happened for you as you took this?
Well, for me, taking the R square is definitely something that has improved how I felt fatigue. And then, of course, I am a early riser. I wake up every day at 5 a.m. So yeah, that the major difference that I notice is actually here because every time I wake up at 5 a.m., I have to go through some struggles, before I finally get active. You know, it usually takes me around like 25 minutes to just get started so I can start stretching, warm up before I start my early morning exercise. After starting this, my actual active time begins 10 minutes after I get off the bed.
Okay, so it takes you 10 minutes to get off the bed. So what has happened since you've started on R Square?
Well, this is the most fascinating thing because due to the fact that I am an early riser, so through the day sometimes I just feel I just run out of energy, you know.
Mm, yeah.
So when I run out of energy, so I start taking coffee. Yeah, I'm just as guilty as everybody else, you know, taking coffee. You know, maybe 9 a.m. You know, I just jolt myself with a good shot of coffee. Then around lunchtime, I take another shot. Then yeah, somewhere near like 5 p.m. Yeah, that is the time that is serious where I sometimes I do nod a little bit. You know, if you get what I mean, nodding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so at that time I would usually take another shot so I can just carry on
Mm,
until 10 at night before I go to bed. Yeah, so after taking this, I stopped. You know, I think it's been day 10. I've stopped taking coffee.
oh, wow, you completely stopped taking coffee.
Yes.
Okay. And how do you feel? Is
It's
it
low.
better, worse, different?
Well, I am just as energetic without coffee. You know,
Mm,
it's really amazing.
okay. All right. And actually yours is 10 days. Huh?
Yeah.
Remember the science of it says that, they found that 5 weeks is the magic number. But I'm glad to hear what you just said. Thanks,
Mhm.
Wilson.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I can add in.
Oh, yes,
So
please.
yeah, so fantastic that you felt that, Wilson. Actually, like, just to give you a bit of background for those of you who don't know Wilson, is that he's not only got a corporate job, he's also a busy, very hands-on, busy father. Okay, of a young child, and he's got two side businesses. Okay, he's doing the new skin business and he's got his own cleaning business. So he's extremely busy. So this is a man who with an extremely packed schedule, highly involved in his, his work, business, and family. Um, and he needs to be on that ball. So that's amazing. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Wilson. Amazing testimony.
Right. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, well, we do have other testimonies. Thanks, Wilson. And one of this is Veronica. Okay, Veronica says that she's a life skills trainer. You know, the typical working woman, okay, and mother. And she said that she just felt so tired, right? But with R square, she says, now I can stretch the day till past 10 a.m. Okay. And without experiencing mental fatigue. I think that's another critical thing, So because there is also the issue of mental fatigue, right? Uh, sometimes we are awake, but we are not running at 100%, right? We're awake, but we're not running at 100%. So that's kind of important. But while we're at it, want to tell you about we have some other testimonies, because what happens is that when you take R square, you feel more energy, right? But every cell has got more energy. So one of the things that happens is that the cell begins to function better. So we have this gentleman, Bernard. He had this very unusual side effect that his hair, which was snow white, started to become dark again. All right. And this happened after 3 weeks, as you can see. And then we have another lady, Miu Hui, and she had psoriasis, right, which is a skin issue, and it improved after just 10 days of R square. Okay, so these are health issues, right? These are health issues, and sometimes the doctor just gives you steroids or other drugs to help you manage the symptoms. But what about healing? Okay, R square, because it gives the body energy in every cell, it actually helps the body to heal itself. And then, of course, we have Sai Hong, who took R square for a month and noticed a reduction of the veins in her leg, okay, as well as an improvement in her skin, okay. And then finally, we have this gentleman. He had a stroke. I can't quite read his name, uh, but he's 74. He had a stroke. He suffered from, the typical age-related things like incontinence, Alzheimer's, and then he suffered a stroke. Well, after the stroke, you can see on the left, he can actually begin to speak, all right, and then he actually could cough out the phlegm rather than have to have it sucked out by a machine. So his health really began to improve. I have one more.
Jeff, maybe I could add just a bit more in for this. Yeah, so this gentleman is actually from a small town in Malaysia, and um, because of this testimonial, he and his wife actually became quite mini celebrities in their town, because I think for over a year or two he had been in this incontinent state because of his stroke. But after a few months of R squared, he recovered to a point that from wheelchair bound and all these things, he could actually like walk and be active. So yeah, because of this, many people were helped by their testimonials when they decided to try R squared. And just to uh, yeah, so the mitochondria, like what Jeff mentioned, actually predominantly is in your brain, muscles, and sexual organs. So it really helped him in terms of that. Yeah, like what Jeff mentioned.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, and now I have a one more testimony, which is Susan. Okay, Susan is my sister and my younger sister, but health-wise, I think she had quite a few challenges. So anyway, Sue, why don't you share?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm the younger sister, but I've got a few more white hairs lah. Unfortunately, that magic hair thing didn't happen to me, but that's fine because my big challenge when I first started taking R squared, uh, along with another pill, another anti-aging pill, Y-span, was that I had arthritis, and I was gaining weight even though I was trying to eat as little as possible, and I was feeling very sluggish, like if energy levels were really down because I couldn't exercise, I couldn't do anything. I was pretty much um housebound and stuck in my chair most of the days. So I took the supplements to in a desperate attempt to help my knees, and I wasn't even thinking about energy lah. I mean, when you got a big problem, you don't look at the small issues. And yet about a week, yes, 1 week after taking it, I just started noticing that I was more energetic. So that gave me a lot of confidence to carry on taking. And then after about 6 weeks, I found that my knees were getting better. So I haven't looked back. But say they, I call R squared the energy pill. It's really good stuff, and it used to be that whenever I had like say one long day or one long afternoon, the next day I'll be wiped out, right?
Hmm.
Like nailed to the bed. Then now it's like, yeah, give me another long day and another and another. Okay lah, after a whole series of long days, maybe I'll be quite wiped out. But so far so good. And just I was thinking about when Wilson was talking about sleeping at 10 o'clock and waking up at 5. Say last night yesterday I had a long day, and I actually slept close to 3 in the morning because there were just things to do, and my cat wanted to go out for a midnight walk, so fine. And suddenly I looked at the clock and it was like, oh, 3 o'clock. So that wasn't very good, but I woke up at before 8 as per normal, and I did not feel wiped out, and I
Hmm.
managed to do quite a few things, and I think I've done them properly, quite well even. So it has really helped my performance, because in the past it's like,
Hmm.
oh, cotton wool in the brain, cannot do anything. Should have tried to go to sleep. Now I'm happy. Of course, I'm not gonna make it a habit to sleep late lah, but It
Yes,
helps
please
tide
don't.
over. Yeah, it helps tide over this sort of thing. And so, that's brilliant. Lah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Sue. All right. So, so who should take R square? Well, it's for men and women over 18. Okay. And if you feel sluggish, or you're tired all the time, you feel weighed down, or you're just not able to have a fully engaged active life, okay, uh, R square is for you. Now, if you are a person who's past 50 and you think, yeah, but it's just natural, for aging, I gotta tell you, not true. Why do you want to live at half your ability until 100 or wherever we are taken back? you know we Why not live at 100% of our ability, right? And I want to show you one woman who really can live at 100% of her ability. I put down here that she's in her 70s because when I met her here, I think she was 74, you know, and this is what she did.
Ready? One, two, three.
She's just amazing. She's so involved, she's so engaged. And then finally, maybe I end with myself. I am 60. Okay. So, actually, with all the best that we have, we don't have to live, we don't have to live life, uh, we don't have to live life at half speed or half steam. Okay. So let's live to the best. Chris, do you have any final words?
No, I think thank you, Wilson and Sue for sharing. I mean, Wilson, you are a young man, and it's incredible that you already feel a difference with this. Sue, fantastic. So happy to hear your transformation. And thank you, G, for sharing. I just like to add one more thing. Aside from energy, one thing that one benefit that R squared has, which is sort of a side benefit, is that it really helps in terms of raising your metabolism, burning that fat, and helping you build muscle. So for people who are on whatever weight weight management journey, fat loss journey that you might be in, it's while helping you while helping you have gain energy. A very very amazing side effect is that you're actually going to be trimmer, you're going to be toner, and you're going to be in better shape after taking it as well. Yeah, because of its fat burning, muscle building effect. Yeah, so it's really really good.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you for listening, and thank you for being here.